Good morning, and I hope you're having a really good morning this morning. Lovely to have a weekend again, not long till the summer holidays either. So my name is Izzy McDougall, and we meet every 2 weeks for Discoverers Online, and I hope you've been able to listen to the last two. If not, you can go back and look at them. If not, just enjoy today. So today, July the 19th, 2020. Wonder if anybody's got a birthday today. Or a birthday last week, or the week before that, or maybe one coming up in the week ahead. If it's your birthday, well, happy birthday to you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. So this week is the last week of term for many of you. Some of you may have finished already. Others of you will be looking forward to perhaps the Leavers service this week, saying goodbye to friends for the holidays, and others of you holiday from school at home and thinking about to school in September. Wonder what that will be like. Well, I hope whatever you do this summer, you do get a good rest. One thing I've thought quite a lot about over the last few weeks is about keeping fit and being physically healthy. Bill, go and sort that phone out. I don't know if you've been watching Joe Wicks and doing a workout with him, or certainly at school we've heard the school children doing masses of exercise and having fun doing things there as well. I try to keep fit. I do running 3 times a week, and my workout tends to be, well, a housework workout. Really, really important though. We've been given these amazing bodies. We do need to take care of them, don't we? So I hope you've had fun this week. Anyway, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, today is Discoverers Online. Yay! Welcome, welcome, welcome. So here we are in the kitchen, at the kitchen table as always. See the cupboards behind me. Glad you can't see in them all the time. And we're going to start today with a quiz. So hopefully you've got paper, pencil, pen ready. Okay? Give you half a second to get there. Now the quiz today is all about the royal family, because of course our theme for the summer is Kings and Queens of the Bible. So what about our own royal family? Okay, question 1. What is the name of the Queen of England? The Queen who's reigning in England now. What is the name of the Queen of England? Question 2. Don't worry if you can't get the spelling right. That's not important, just so long as you can read your answer. Number 2. How many children does she have? Okay, number 3. What are their names? There's a prince, and then there's a princess, and there's another prince, and there's another prince. Some of you may have some of the names, I don't know. Okay, time to write those down. Quick look at mum or dad. Do they know the answers? Maybe, maybe not. Will they know the answer to this one? Question 4. How many grandchildren does she have? Bill didn't know the answer to this one. Okay. Number 5. Which church has been the setting for the coronation since 1066? Every king and queen of England has been crowned in this particular place since 1066. Maybe you need to ask somebody else for that answer. Maybe you know it yourself. Perhaps you've watched some of the weddings. Okay, who will be the next king or queen of England? When our current queen dies, who will be the next king or queen of England? Okay. Now, this is a bit of a giveaway. One of the Queen's sons is called Charles. Now, Charles has 2 sons. What are their names? Prince and Prince. Remember who they are? You will have seen them on the television. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard about them. Good young men. Okay, next one. Now, there's a bit of a clue to the answer. How long has the Queen been on the throne? The Queen, who's Queen of England at the moment, how long has she been on the throne? And your clue for those mathematicians among you was she was crowned Queen on June the 2nd, 1953. Good calculation. Oh, can you do it? It's quite easy for me because I was born in 1950, so I just take away 3 years from my life and I'll work out how. You might get the days as well as the years. Okay. Before this Queen of England, who has reigned for the longest time that there has ever been a queen on the throne, who had reigned for longest before her? There was another queen. The queens seem to live long, don't they? There was another queen who reigned for a long, long time. Okay, and the last question, number 10. This is a true or false question, okay? Is this true or false? The Queen does not need a passport to travel abroad and does not need a driving licence. True or false? Quick answer to that one, okay? Right, you ready for the answers? Okay, let's go. Question 1, what's the name of the Queen of England? Of course it is. Queen Elizabeth, yes. How many children does she have? Well, just like me, she has 4. What are their names? Charles, Anne, Andrew and Edward. How many grandchildren does she have? Ooh, more than me, I've got 5. She's got 8 grandchildren. Which church has been the setting for all the coronations since 1066? Westminster Abbey. If you've never been there, a lovely place to visit. Not far from the Houses of Parliament either. Who'll be the next monarch in England? Well, it'll be Charles, yes. And the next question was, what are the names of Charles's 2 sons? Hopefully you wrote William and Harry. Red-headed Harry. Okay, how long has Queen Elizabeth been on the throne? Well, the answer is 57 years and 47 days, if you got days as well. The next one, question 9, before Queen Elizabeth II, who was England's longest reigning monarch, longest reigning queen? Well, it was her great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, and she reigned for 63 years and 216 days. So the Queen has beaten her by 4 years, nearly 4 years. Does the Queen need a passport and a driving licence? No, she doesn't. She doesn't need either. All the rest of the royal family do, but she has her own British passport as a queen, given to, which she doesn't have to apply for like we do. Maybe some of you have got passports by now. I don't know. Okay, that's the royal family. And maybe over the summer holidays you'll go and visit some of the lovely castles and palaces around England or Scotland or Wales. Or even Ireland if you're travelling there on holiday. If you're not going away, there's lots of places near here where kings and queens have visited palaces, houses, castles. Think about Hever Castle, but some other places, Penshurst Place. Have a think around it, see if you can visit some. Because we're all about kings and queens at the moment for the summer, and we're going to continue now with our theme of kings and queens in the Bible. You might want to just stand up, run around the room, look out of the window, stretch a bit up, maybe touch your toes. Okay, settle back down again. We all need to move a bit, don't we? Difficult to sit still for ages. Okay, so in the last couple of Discoverers Online, the first week we thought about King David. And King David, was a very popular king, if you remember that. And then the last time we talked about Queen Esther, who you might remember, I really like Queen Esther. And she did such an important job at such an important time by just waiting until the time was right to act. So they were 2 very good kings and queens. Well, today we're going to go back a bit from Queen Esther and go back to the person who succeeded King David because by that stage they'd got into the idea that you can have a succession through the family, a bit like we do today. So Solomon was David's son, and Solomon became king after David. Now Solomon was a very beautiful looking person, the Bible tells us, and you can read about King Solomon, if you've got a Bible, in a book called Kings, 1 Kings in the Bible, and it starts at chapter 2, all about Solomon. And Solomon really wanted to honour God and wanted to do right by God. And the first thing he built was the most beautiful temple, a place like a cathedral where the Jews could go to worship God and be together in their praise and worship for God. And it's where the most important place was for people to come to find God. And he finished building that before he finished building his own palace. So he was somebody who really wanted to put God first in his life. Now, shortly after he became king, he had a dream. Sleeping one night, had a dream. And in this dream, God came to him and said to him, "What would you like me to give you, Solomon?" And Solomon answered, "I would like you to give me wisdom. I want to be wise so that I can be a fair and a just king and rule my people well." And God gave him wisdom. And Solomon was such a wise king. He was wise in what he said. He was wise in what he did. He was wise in the decisions he made. And people all around, the countries around his country, got to hear about this wise king. In fact, you can read in the Bible about the Queen of Sheba, who came on a long journey from her country to come and visit King Solomon, to find out about how wise he was. They probably saw the difference it made to the way he looked after his country. And an example of his wisdom is a very, very unusual story, which again you can read about in the Bible. There were 2 women who shared a house together. They had their own bedrooms, but they shared the house together. And the Bible doesn't tell us their names, but I'm going to call them Sarah and Anne, just so we can tell the difference as we go through the story. Now, something terrible had happened in Sarah and Anne's home, and they were arguing about it. So they came to see King Solomon and said, "Please, would you judge and tell us who is right?" And they told him their story. They both had had a baby. One had a baby first, Sarah had the baby first, then 2 days later Anne had a baby. They had their own bedrooms, they went to bed one night, went to sleep. Something terrible happened in the night. One of the babies died. And the story that was told by Sarah said that one night Anne had rolled over onto her baby and suffocated it, and the baby died. So Anne had crept into Sarah's room, taken the live baby and put her dead baby back with Sarah. Swapped the babies over. Sarah woke up to find the dead baby in her bed, and she said it was not her baby, that Anne had stolen her baby, and they began to argue and fight in front of Solomon. And Solomon listened carefully and then said, "Stop." And he asked his guards to go and get a large sword. And he said, "I'm going to cut this baby equally in half, so that each mother has 1/2 of the baby, a fair share." Now one mother ran up to Solomon and said, No, please don't do that. Let her have the baby. You mustn't kill the baby." And Solomon said, "You are the true mother, because no mother would want to see her baby killed like this." Now that was a shocking thing, but very wise, because he was able to call out the truth in that situation. Solomon wasn't always a good king. He made mistakes, but we know him for his wisdom, and that lasted throughout his kingly reign. So what can we learn from Solomon? Well, I think God asks us as well, what would we like? What do we want? It's a good question for us to ask ourselves, isn't it? Do we want to be kinder? Do we want to learn to keep our temper? Do we want to make good friends? Whatever it is that we want, we can ask God and trust that he will hear what we're asking him for. And if it's the best thing for us and for the people around us, I believe that God will help us to grow in that area of our lives, whatever that is. So, there we go. What a wonderful story, if a bit strange. So, what about craft today? Well, we're going to do something a bit different with craft. The Bible says that Solomon was a very beautiful person. And Bill, I wonder if you would go to the fridge for me, please. And you'll see a tray in the fridge. That's it. I kept it in there because I was a bit worried that they would run. We're going to make portrait biscuits today. Now, what I've done is your parents will have received an email, and on the email there is the recipe for these biscuits. Now, you could choose to make a different recipe if you like, but I think cooking is a bit of fun sometimes to do together, isn't it? Or you could use a digestive or a rich tea biscuit, whatever you want. But you need to get together the sort of different ingredients that you will need to make this biscuit. So, flour, sugar, egg, butter, baking powder, vanilla essence, a little bit of salt, did I say an egg? Okay, and you need to have some icing sugar ready for later, and you need to have some nice sweetie type things for decoration. So what it is, you make the biscuits, and it's a fairly straightforward recipe, and it's not too sweet because you're going to make them a lot sweeter. So you can make them, cut them into a round shape, which is a sort of fairly face sort of shape, is it? Or you could cut them into a heart shape. Some people have quite heart-shaped faces. I bet mine is. I think mine's more round. Perhaps it's probably oval. I haven't got an oval cutter. And then the fun begins. You make the cakes, the biscuits rather, and then the fun begins. And you just start to make the portraits of your family. Okay, now I've done the portraits of two of my grandchildren. This, will she recognise it as her? This is Lily. Now Lily has got fair hair, it's much longer than here, goes off down the back, and she's got big blue eyes, and they are big blue eyes, and her hair's dropping off, and she's usually quite smiley. And then this is Noah, her brother. Now Noah has got very, 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 very curly brown hair. In fact, because of COVID, he hasn't been able to have it cut for a long time, so it really is long. And he's like his dad, he has brown eyes. And I've given him an O from mouth, because he often is shouting out things, oh, like that. And the idea is that you decorate those biscuits. Now I've used chocolate flake for his hair, Smarties you can see, chocolate Smartie for his nose, and I think these strawberry laces are very good, so I've used those for the mouth. But if somebody in your house has red hair, that would be ideal. Okay, so what you do is you decorate your biscuits to be like one of each member of your family. You might want to do one for your grandma and granddad as well, or somebody else. You don't tell them which is theirs. You decorate them all and you put them on a plate or a tray, and then you can show them and say, guess which is you. If they get it right, they get to eat it. If they don't get it right, well, maybe you get to eat it. Who knows? I hope you have great fun cooking. And now we're going to sing a song. Now this song, Bill and I are trying to learn some new songs because the ones we know are very old, because we're very old too. And so what I've done is sent a link on this email to your parents, and there are two. There's one which is a link with the song with the words, and another one which is a link with the children who, you know, we see in family service, them dancing around and singing the song as well, so you can have a go with both. Okay, and we might actually even attach the words to the email so that you've got the words there as well. Forgive my singing, but give it a go.
Who breaks the power of sin and darkness, whose love is mighty and so much stronger, the King of glory, the King above all kings. Who shakes the whole earth with holy thunder, who leaves us breathless in awe and wonder, the King of glory, the King above all kings. This is amazing grace, this is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, you would lay down your life, that I would be set free. Whoa, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Who brings our chaos back into order, who makes the orphan a son and daughter, the King of glory, the King above all kings. Who rules the nations with truth and justice, shines like the sun in all of his brilliance, the King of glory, the King above all kings. This is amazing grace, this is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, you would lay down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me.
Whoa, there we go. You'll do it a load better than we've done it. So each week we're going to learn a new song. So we'll build up our repertoire so that when we all get back together again and we can get a band of you going as a little orchestra, we can have some great fun. Have some dancers, have some singers. And that song was all about the King of Kings. So we've been thinking about King Solomon, and that was about the King of God, the King Jesus, who really wants to be with us throughout the next fortnight. So I look forward to seeing you again soon. Here's my email address, but it is on the email that your parents have received. So if you want to get in touch with me, please do. Enjoy your biscuits, enjoy cooking, and have a great start to your holidays. Bye! See you in 2 weeks.